Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today I'm taking you over the best £900 gaming PC build for the months of August and September 2016. This build is more than capable of smashing the latest AAA titles at ultra settings 1080 and 1440p, and we've even got some scope to dabble in some 4K gaming whilst achieving between 30 and 60 frames per second at medium and high settings. And making this build possible is the part. So let's kick it off with the CPU. The CPU I went for was Intel's Core i5-6500. It's a quad-core CPU and it comes clocked at 3.2 GHz. It isn't overclockable, but the best value for money doesn't come on overclocking. If you choose to overclock, you need a SKU that has a K on the end, so a more expensive CPU. You need a more expensive motherboard with a VRM cooling in order to facilitate for overclocking, and you need a beefy CPU cooler. So overclocking just isn't the best option for this build. For the motherboard, the ASRock H110M-HDV is a micro ATX board with the LGA1151 socket needed for this CPU. It's also got USB 3, PCI 3 and SATA 3.6 GB/s, all interfaces that you're going to need. For the RAM, 16GB of Kingston's HyperX Fury could be cited as slightly overkill, and if you did need to save some money, you can head down to just 8GB. However, newer games such as Star Wars Battlefront have now started to recommend having 16GB of RAM, and that is indeed what we shall give it. For the storage, an SSD and a hard drive separately is still the best option. The Seagate Barracuda 1TB hard drive is a 7200 RPM drive, which is there to store your movies, your music, your massive Steam and game libraries. That's the mass storage drive. And the SSD, the OCZ Tryon, is a 240GB SSD, which you're going to install Windows and your most frequently used files, documents and applications onto. For the video card, Gigabyte's GeForce GTX 1070 is a new one from Nvidia. It's got an 8GB frame buffer, and this Gigabyte cooler is not only massive but also looks incredible. It's a really solid card and comes in a black colour scheme with like orangey accents, which is really nice. For the case, the Corsair 100R is a budget offering from Corsair, but gives you all the features and functionality you need. You've got USB 3, a nice big side panel window to show off the inside of your build, and support for up to ATX motherboards and power supplies. Talking of power supplies, the EVGA Supernova NEX is a 650 watt power supply with an 80+ gold certification. That 80+ gold certification meaning it's going to run above 80% efficiency at all times, and because it's a gold certification as opposed to a bronze, you're going to be running at 92%, around about that kind of mark, efficiency 99% of the time. So a really solid power supply from EVGA. Not to mention it's also fully modular, meaning you only plug in the cables that you need. And that wraps it up for this build. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, rate and subscribe, and as always we will see you in the next GeekaWhat video.